This is just a sign of how mild it's been up here. Here down here in the cedar, here this water isn't even frozen now. One reason it's not frozen, and it's you know, we're down below freezing a bit. It's probably actually slowly flowing sideways through that hole. The way it works down here in this cedar swamps is there's water underneath, and it's kind of constantly moving south toward the river system. I'm going to change out the SD card, but as I suspected, I've got a lot of shots of pure white snowshoe hares running by. They've had it made because there's been no martins or fishers or wolves along this little trail. Okay, got a new card. Got to remember to actually turn it on. Sometimes I make that mistake. We're all ready for what else wants to come along. Well, the little flurries we've had have made it really nice to keep everything white in wintertime out here on the trails. After I changed that camera on, I come over here to my work site. No, I didn't come over here to work. I'm over here looking for woodpeckers. There's these trees that I'm racing to get down before the larch beetle kills them. The black-backed and the three-toed woodpeckers move in to flake that bark off and get to them. And I can hear one tapping over here. I'm going to go over and see if we can get enough of a view to get maybe a little video of it. But many times they're way up in the tree, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to crank the volume up here, but it's just a very light. They don't hammer really hard. It's kind of a light tapping because all they're doing is flecking the bark off rather than hammering in. It's pretty faint, but crank your volume up really a lot louder if you can. This is promising because you heard that little squawk over there and the one's hammering back there, so we got two woodpeckers here today. See what we find. I need to find one of them woodpeckers that's working down low to the ground like this now. You can see how over the last 4 or 5 months they've just peeled all of that bark off of these tamarack trees to get to that, probably the large larva, probably. In case you haven't noticed, with just today and tomorrow left and I got to head home, I can get a lot more excited about chasing birds than I can coming over here and sawing up these logs. So, and there are 2 birds up there. I can see one, but it's so far up in the branches there's no way to get a shot through there. It looks like it's another black-backed woodpecker, and I have seen a male with the yellow on the head. I can show you a picture of that I took the other day when I was over here. It was out in the bright sunlight and a little better opportunity. Not a great shot, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And then the female doesn't have the yellow. And that I saw that one a few days earlier. So maybe today we just have the pair over here working together. I was really hoping for the other one that we could get up here, and that's called the American three-toed woodpecker. And along the same line, got some grayish, whitish down the middle of the back, a little bit smaller. I saw one here earlier in the year, and they're scarce enough in Minnesota. They got a special program of tracking them when everybody spots one. They want to know where you saw it, what kind of tree, and things like that. So I've seen it here twice in the last 4 months, but I haven't been able to find it this trip. I couldn't help myself. I did get the tools out and roll these logs around, so if I do get here later today or in the morning, it'll be real simple to finish attaching the ladder rail there, and the same way with this one. Got them up in the air far enough it'll be fairly comfortable to cut them. So maybe with that much of a head start, I'll get here after all. Oh, I think getting out there in that fresh air like that really woke me up. I think I'll probably get out there and get some of those, get started on some of that Grandberg work yet this afternoon. Well, it's already 1:45, but I got till 5 o'clock, so. And I've already got it kind of set up out there, ready to get that ladder for the rail leveled up. I got the chainsaw sharpened up and all attached to the Grandberg mill, so I think we're good to go there. And I had to take I mentioned I've been using the gas lantern, and I took that off to get it refueled with gasoline. And I started the snow dog up, got it warmed up while I was out there. And yeah, I did say putting gasoline in that lantern. It's a dual fuel lantern, and I ran out of the regular Coleman fuel last trip. So, well, it's supposed to run on unleaded gasoline, so let's give that a try. Well, I think I might keep doing it because it works fine. And at $3 a gallon compared to 15 to 20 for the Coleman fuel, if you can find it anymore, it works fine. It's probably a little more volatile, but I'm always careful with it anyway. I light it outside and make sure it's stable and going before I bring it in. So anyway, with all of that done, I think get out of my Sunday duds here in a minute and get into my working clothes. And speaking of working clothes, somebody had mentioned last time about the pants I was wearing. Now these are Duluth Trading Company. Just a cotton shell with a polyester insulation, but well, they're really nice for out there working. The little padding protect you from getting bumped up too much, and they add some warmth. I got these from a friend that passed away, and I don't know how long he had worn them, but when I got back from that last trip off there sawing and working all the time with that rough bark and everything, you know, I was kind of getting threadbare in the front, so we put a few iron-on patches on. But otherwise, they make a real nice work pant. I mean, you wouldn't want to get them wet out there because wool's the way to go on that. That's why as I head out, I'll put on a layer of, I like this really heavy polypropylene and a wool shirt, a wool coat. I'll probably be shedding that wool coat pretty quick along with my hat and gloves. You know, after all, it's only mild winter out there. So I think now I'll get back to the more important things in cabin life though. Get 45, a little afternoon coffee and apple pie for dessert. And I may just get out there and get to work after all. Oh yeah, this is the same apple pie, but there's been a lot of water over the dam since we had the first 2/3 of it. I finally did get off my duff, and by 1 o'clock I got out and I was sawing timbers and Ended up sawing up a couple of logs, got some nice big planks, and worked out there till it got dim tonight, about 5 o'clock. Came back in, and that pretty well wore me out, so instead of having a big elaborate supper, I just got this, had some of these beans. You've probably seen Vonnie make those over in our other channel, Vonnie's Kitchen, Martin Shack. Then I had these venison backstrap. I just fried them up and threw the backstraps into the pan of beans to cut down on dishes, you know, water's precious. So I just finished that up, and I was sitting here and I got my MP3 player and a little Bluetooth speaker, but because of copyright laws and all that, you just can't really have the music on while we're doing this. But anyway, I have to turn it off. Now I'm going to enjoy that last bit of pie. Got some cinnamon decaf tea. Yeah, it's 20 to 7. It's almost cabin bedtime. I told you there's a lot of dark hours.